What's up? Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Forrest. I'm Best of Stuff. Today we're going to do a trade review of today, some of the trades that I took and what I was looking for. This is a really good example of how to make money in the market. Trading futures. I'm a futures trader. I've been trading for around 8 years now altogether. 3 or 4 years, I think, day trading every single day. If you want to follow me, a few other people trade live, join the Discord. Link is down below. It is a paid Discord. A lot of the other stuff you see on YouTube, though, it's not super hype. You're not going to instantly make a ton of money. You know, if you're good, you might do well. You can follow along. But what I can promise you is that you will learn a lot, and we will help you become a better trader no matter where you are. And if you are a good trader, we definitely want you there as well, because you can trade along with us. As you follow along in this video and watch me describe kind of what I saw today in the markets, you'll understand our approach to trading. One of the reasons that I do this is because a lot of the information on YouTube about trading and day trading and finance in general is just bullshit, and it's a lot of leading people on, setting expectations wildly higher than what you can actually expect to get, especially as a newbie in the market. So really quick before we actually jump in, some of the things that you should look for as a newbie are consistency, risk mitigation, protecting your capital stack. I talk about that all the time, right? You don't get to play the game of trading if you run out of money. So no individual trade should put your entire capital stack at risk. You want to understand your risk, and then you also want to understand individual trade risk, track your metrics, and things like that. You should generally have a trading plan and rules for your day and every single trade that you get in. If you're ever in a trade and you don't really have a thesis about when you should get in or get out, just immediately close that trade. But let's go ahead and jump in, see what we got. All right, tether to my phone really quick so we can pull up the charts. We really only need 2 charts for this. We're gonna look at NQ and ES. I trade NQ and ES. I've mostly been trading NQ recently. ES was not too bad today, but let's actually break that down and show you what I was talking about. So my goal of this, by the way, is to show you really the primary setup of the day. So I'll talk about the general market, but I'll talk about the general trade that I was looking for, kind of the story, the narrative that I created for myself as I was approaching the market today. That's kind of my approach as a trader, right? So I try to build a story that makes sense, not one that necessarily needs to be right. Something I talk about, we talk about in Discord, is detaching yourself from your ego in regards to being a trader. You have to be confident, but you need to remove your need to be right as a trader, right? Especially in the space, a lot of mess on the internet, and everybody basically wants to go, oh, look how my analysis paid off and all the money you could have made. But unless you actually are consistently executing on those trade setups, none of that matters. I'm just gonna double check my audio here. Are we good? Yeah, we're good. What I really want you to pay attention to is this chart for NQ and ES. So let's actually go to the 5-minute on both of these. Oh, this is SPX. We're gonna go to ES. Recording my screen, we can see that the market opened here. I'll put a vertical line at the close, and I do the same thing for ES. We have a vertical line there. We'll do another vertical line for the closed. So this was the market today, and I really want to focus on this time period here, right? Really we'll zoom in a little bit closer. So look at this price action here, right? And I will draw a circle around this area. So in this time period here, we see that NQ actually sold off in the open, right? We sold off. It's gonna get messy. And we see that ES opened higher. That's an immediate, not trade signal, but it's a signal in you should be aware of what's happening, right? Immediate divergence. And the reason that this is divergence is because that NQ and ES, while they don't have the exact same underlying, they have some very big underlying stocks that make up these indices, right? And in general, there's always divergence, but if you zoom out on ES and NQ, the boats are going in the same direction, right? So these 2 indices sync up. So they diverge or they sync up on the macro, higher time frames. I'm talking the 1 hour, 4 hour, they sync up. So immediately out the gate, I actually didn't start looking at the market till 10:30 today. I was slow to get onto the market, but around 10:30, which is here, right around this time, I'm like, huh. So we can see both these lines on both charts. 10:30, I see that NQ is sold off and is consolidating sideways. ES has rallied and it's going sideways. So I was actually looking, when I first got on, I was looking for NQ to sell off. Let me tell you why. So I was looking for, and obviously didn't sell off, it went this way, and we'll get to that. I was looking for it to sell off. So the reason I was looking for it to sell off is because ES has this double top, or I thought I was going to do a double top right around this level, right around 45.65. We actually got up to this area here. We look at where we're at 10:30. So at 10:30, we're here. And I'm like, huh, so we're in this liquidity area. We see this volume node right here, right? So we're in this volume node, we can reject. Makes sense, we could reject. But but NQ did not look like it wanted to go lower. So lower on NQ, we have, if we zoom out, right, we can see that there was this overnight area that we rejected down here. And I figured maybe we'll come down here. It didn't look weak though, right? I'm looking at the charts on the lower time frames. And NQ did not look weak. It looked like it wanted to pop up. I was also watching ES, and it looked like it wanted to pop up on the shorter time frames, right? This was looking more like a flag of the shape of these candles than a rejection. And we can see that we have all of these dojis here. This didn't really look like it was going to reject. It just looked like a continuation pattern. So one of the things that I did, and what's really important for you as a trader, is talking about that ego and that bias, is just letting that go and reversing it. So I actually just reversed my trade thesis, right? And so all that energy that I thought was going to come to the downside, right down here, I just flipped it and I was looking for an upside target. So I had an upside target already. I had this line of 16,675. And I'm like, all right, well, that's the next major target. So that was my thesis. And that's exactly what we did. It took a little bit longer, but we eventually had this pop here, right? We had this little pop here, consolidate, and then we eventually got there in the afternoon. The afternoon was pretty slow, but that was the thesis. And what I really want to call out to you guys, and what's important to note here, is how I swapped this thesis, right? So my trading style is I'm always looking for liquidity targets on the higher time frames. I'm on the 5 minute right now for the sake of example, but when I'm actually looking out at these targets, I'm usually on the 1 hour or higher. I'm looking at the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour. The 4 hour in particular on NQ and ES is awesome. So I'm looking at these areas, and this price target is actually from a very long time ago. This is from, if you look at the 1 week chart, it's gonna take a while to load, right? The only structure to the left is from back in January of literally over a year ago. So not this year, but January of 2022, right? And there's this wick. You can see that there's this wick right here, which might be hard to see. Let me get rid of the session volume profile. Oh, sorry, that's not the session. This is a fixed range volume profile. So I have this wick right here, and that's where I drew that line. Cool, so we have that level. Came up to it on the higher time frames, and that's how I scoped that out. So on the shorter time frames, I'm just looking for validation and confirmation of my higher time frame thesis, which again goes back to why I reversed myself. So I basically said, all right, the shorter time frames are not validating what I think is going to happen on the higher time frame, right? That double top that I was looking for around here, ES looked like it was going to crack higher. Sorry, this double top I was looking for here, right? ES looked like it was going to crack higher. It did. And so I was like, all right, that's fine. There's plenty of upside on NQ as well. All right, NQ was not near its highs. If NQ was near its highs, right, if there wasn't divergence, then there wouldn't be this opportunity for the slingshot effect. But because there was that heavy divergence, we had the slingshot effect, which allowed us to get up to this major liquidity area. And you play long. Also, if we just zoom out a little bit, let's go back to the 15 on NQ, and we'll just make this a little bit bigger. Just look at the trend recently, right? Very obviously in an uptrend over the past few days. So if you look at, this range of values here, uptrend, right? That's a few sessions. Ignore all my lines and stuff. I don't delete all my levels. We're not gonna talk about that. I literally just leave them there. If you're curious, I just leave them there because they hit all the time. And that's kind of my approach to trading, guys. It's brain dead simple. The execution is the hard part. I probably only took 4 or 5 trades today. I did like $3,000 per account. Like an hour and a half period. I literally didn't open the charts till 10:30 today. There's a ton of different ways that you can trade, but it all comes down to discipline, right? I think a lot of people probably got smoked in this area. They got chopped up here, right? Holding too long, either long or short. Then definitely at the end of the day, I know a ton of people got smoked here because they were just eating up premium, right? We didn't have this end of day sell-off was in the last 10 minutes there. And I also made a few bucks there. I made like another $1,000 in this sell-off, just writing that off. But that was a momentum trade essentially. And it takes a lot of patience. So I traded this. I went back to work. I was watching the charts, came out for Power Hour on Discord, and we were talking about it. I literally just took a little momentum trade, caught a few points, and that was done. And I'm probably not going to trade tomorrow because I'm super busy and I don't want to be too distracted while I'm on the charts. If you want to learn how to do this or understand how we get the levels, understand the liquidity targets, understand what we're looking at when we look at the session volume profile, what all the volume profile nodes are, definitely join us on the Discord. I have a ton of other videos on that as well. But in general, if there's one key takeaway from this video is that you need to be doing higher / intermediate time frame analysis, looking for liquidity targets. And I'll leave you with one more thing too, because I have been doing NQ, but I honestly mostly do this on ES. What do I mean by that? This might be a little confusing as work experience comes in, but I don't want this video to be too long, is I kind of use ES as my primary driver for liquidity targets, right? So you can see all this volume that got built up here. And this is a little node, this is a little node, this is a little node. There's nodes all over the place. We have all that volume that was built up there, right? So I use ES as the primary driver. I trade NQ because of the opportunity, right? So that slingshot, if you look at the amount of points of the range of this day, this was around 275 points today, right? Which is nuts. Is that right? Yeah, 292 points. A lot of opportunity versus ES, which was 50 points. Obviously, a tick is worth different than than the other one, but neither here nor there. Something else that'll leave you with, just because we're here. NQ really likes to go to the 0.5 and the 0.6 fib, right? And sometimes what it'll do is it will do a 0.5 touch, it'll do one of these, and then it will come down to the 0.6. I know this says 0.38, you know, it's a 0.3 and 0.6, these go together. So depending on which way you draw your fib tool, right, is kind of gonna decide which way it's going. But yeah, it'll come down, ejects, and it does this a lot. This is a money right here. This a small little detail at the end of this video, if you're still watching, this is a money maker. NQ very often will do this little retest, and there's a few other things that it will do very often as well. But in any case, that is it for this video. If you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, accolades, give them down below in the comment section. Other than that, my name is Forrest. I invest in stuff you should too. See you in the next video. Peace.